Anyway, I got another movie review. So, last night I got really fucking high. I was scrolling through for, like, horror movies I've never heard of. Empty Man. Empty Man. This is like a Candyman-inspired thing. First of all, horror movies are notorious for being short. It's kind of hard to... Like, I don't know why that is. I think that this movie is like 2 hours and 20 minutes or something. Right? Most horror movies I've seen are like 80 minutes to like 100 minutes, right? So, this is a pretty long horror movie. But anyway, it's kind of like a Candyman thing. Right? Like, you blow into a bottle and then like the empty man, like whatever. So, I gotta say, this movie, there's a couple elements to it that are pretty great. One, the artsy-fartsy shit. This movie is so artsy. Like, the camera, like, loves to get, like, the cinematic, like, backgrounds. Right? Like, the editing, like, the scene transition. It's very artsy, this movie. It's very artsy. And I enjoyed that. So, you know how in horror movies, usually they've got, like, the first victim before the main movie? Right? Like, in slasher movies, it'll be, like, someone... Like, usually it's, like, 5 to 10 minutes. Right, someone gets killed, and that establishes who the slasher is, or whatever, and then the main characters get in, and then, you know, it's like the school bus with all the main characters, and then they die slowly over time. So, this movie's opening sequence is like 22 minutes or something. I remembered, like, I thought that was the whole movie. I thought that there was no opening sequence, but then, like, I've seen enough horror movies that I'm primed for opening sequences like that. So, like, part of me was like, this is like 20 minutes long. Are these the characters? Like, is this movie just has no opening? But then, like, you know, around 22 minutes in, those characters die, and then the main characters get introduced. So I just want to say, I love that. I love that, because I was thinking that they were subverting the trope, but then the trope was subverted and then subverted again. So anyway, Empty Man. So then the main characters start, basically an ex-cop is, like, trying to track down, like, his ex-stepdaughter or something, because they're divorced, but, like, I don't know. Who, like, ran away. And so then they find out that, like, that he asked, like, one of her friends, like, oh, do you know what happened? And the friend says that they did, like, this Empty Man bullshit a couple days ago. So then, like, he's trying to figure out what the fuck this Empty Man thing is. He finds this cult, like, this pseudo-religious cult. And then, like, the cult is, like, doing this, like, big, like, it's kind of like this Buddhist kind of thing where it's, like, there's just one consciousness. We're all part of one consciousness, right? That kind of stuff. And it's pretty cool. It gets into, like, there's no such thing as time. There's no such thing as reality, right? I thought that was pretty cool. They were throwing a bunch of, like, super interesting stuff at it. And then, I don't want to spoil the ending. Like, this movie is long. Like, again, for a horror movie, most horror movies are not this long. This is, like, almost 2.5 hours. It's a long movie for a horror movie. And, like, the ending, there's a lot going on in the ending. There's a lot going on in the ending. Not all of it, I think, is good, but I think it's good enough. But basically, there's a big twist. I don't even want to spoil it. I want you to watch the movie, if this sounds interesting to you. But again, it's one of those horror movies that's basically like Candyman, but, like, updated for a modern audience. But with, you know, different vibes. It throws in that spirituality stuff, which I'm into. I'm into it. I like it. I thought this movie was good. Is it great? No. Is it the best horror movie ever made? No. But it's good. It is a solid horror film. Is it scary? I mean, my opinion on horror is it doesn't have to be scary. I don't think I have the palate to judge whether or not this is scary, to be honest with you. There's really no jump scares in this movie that I can recall. But there's lots of, like, tense scenes. So maybe it's scary, I'm not sure. But it's a good fucking movie. I'd say if you like horror and you've seen a lot of already, like, great horror movies, this movie, it's going to be good. I recommend it if you're into that kind of thing.